The Ironman 70.3 training is in jeopardy right now. That is the brick session done. 60k bike, 12k run. It took me 3 hours and 25 minutes, a 3 hours and 25 minute workout end to end. The 60 bike was 2 hours and 25. I actually thought it was a bit slow. I struggled a little bit with the bike, still to get comfortable, to find the right position. I want to sit in from a long period of time. So I'm going to invest in some aero bars as soon as possible, because I passed a few guys, obviously in triathlon prep, on the road from here in Ocean Shores up to Pottsville and Hastings Point, and they look wonderfully comfortable in that aero position. So I need to get that sorted ASAP. The run was great. It was an hour run, 5 minute zero. I'll put everything on screen. 5:03 per kilometer. The only downside of the run was that about 4k I got a bit crampy. That lasted until about 8k. Had to start a little bit. But after 8k, I really settled in for that final 4k and felt really good. This whole workout, the last 15-20 minutes was where I felt best. I think I hit my 300 grams of carbs. I had about 2.5, almost 3 liters of water, so I hit that nicely. I just didn't get my electrolytes and my sodium right. So really good workout, lots of lessons learned as ever. But yeah, I'm really happy with that one. That was one of the longest workouts I've done for a very long time, and it's a good marker from where I am at in preparation terms for the 70.3 coming up in September. So great stuff.
Good morning. So we're in Ballina. It is Monday the 14th of July, and today we have a 2.5k swim. Today's just going to be a technique session, so just working on, basically from some help in the comments from you guys, the final part of the pull as I pull down past my hip, some glide work and some stretch work and some reach work, and then basically being very focused on my head, so keeping my head down in the water, reducing drag. Oats this morning, about 35 grams of gummy sweets and a banana. I've got my water here ready to go as well. So we're going to jump in and get this session done. I'm going to film what I can along the way. So this GoPro's coming with me this time. It's nice and quiet in the pool, so hopefully I bother nobody. So let's go.
So we're going to use this time to look at some swimming technique work, or some issues with me as a beginner swimmer, and how I can improve, or what's going wrong, or current kind of flaws in my technique. I've been swimming for about 9 weeks now, 9-10 weeks. And though I'm getting fast, I'm getting more relaxed in the pool, there are clearly issues with my form. So we're going to jump in and have a look at that straight away. So the first thing we're going to look at is my leg kick, which is on the screen at the moment. I have a very lateral leg kick. And if we pause it at this point, you'll see that as I rotate my body, I'm kicking on that 2-bit kick incorrectly. And I'm trying to simultaneously save energy, but also propel myself forward doing this kick. And for some reason, I think I'm kicking at the wrong time. So you'll see that on the screen, there are lines showing like my hip rotation, but my timing of my kick is off by the looks of this. So I need to be kicking much more vertically. I'm wasting kind of energy by pushing force out to either side of my body. You'll see the bubbles even there off my left foot, and my right foot kind of come laterally out away from my body. And yeah, it's pretty ugly. I think it's a pretty ugly kick in this, and I'm not very efficient at all. So I'm working on trying to make sure, and this session was from the Monday last week. So I've done 2 swims since this point, and both those swims I've been really working hard on making sure that I'm much more laterally, I'm much more vertical when it comes to my kick, and making sure I'm left foot kick, right foot kick, and timing it with my stroke, moving through the water. So this is a big thing to fix. It's just an inefficiency. I actually get a lot of power from the kick and not using that much effort, so it feels helpful. It's just a little bit ugly and a little bit wasteful. So this is the first thing I have to work on. I'm not sure how best to work on. I suspect I'm going to need a paddleboard as in like a paddle out front, just to work on that 2-beat kick behind me. But yeah, it's not a particularly pretty start to the stroke. So the next thing we're going to look at is my catch. You'll notice my left-hand catch is pretty solid. It's a reasonably high elbow as I come through, which is great in this scenario. Like I can hold that left hand. I feel pretty good through it. I can drive through the water. I'd probably like it, as you see on screen, possibly maybe like 10 centimeters higher, that elbow higher up, and just catching a bit more water. But like that side feels pretty strong. I feel pretty good when I'm pulling that left hand through the water, that left arm, that left forearm through the water. So this hasn't been particularly a big problem for me. However, when we look at my right hand side, two things are happening here. So my arm is very straight as we move through the water. We'll pause it just there. And that means I'm not, obviously, there's a lot of bubbles. I'm not getting anywhere near enough force. I'm dropping my right arm too early. I'm not timing it inside of my head. So there are two issues in this scenario right now. So the first one is that angle of my elbow, that high catch needs to be much higher. It's on the screen. I need to bring that elbow out. You do see it as we'll roll through. I will go back to the video and we'll do some live movement now. If you look, I do actually get a tiny bit of bend as we move through, but it's so low down that it's just... And there is a second problem. My right hand drops too quickly. It drops really down fast as I'm taking a breath, which is not particularly helpful. So as we freeze that frame in a second, you'll see that my right hand is way too low. And I realized this on, when was it? I swam, the 22nd of July. I swam yesterday, Monday 21st, which you'll see at the end of this video. And I've been trying to make sure that I'm just gliding my right hand out as far as possible, bringing my breath and my head down, and then pulling that movement. That's getting me a little bit better in a catch position. So, but this is all part of being a new swimmer. There are some weaknesses that I have to work out, some efficiencies to iron out. I'm just getting there slowly, bit by bit. We are doing longer sets. We are breathing better. We are holding a better pace. But obviously, to a lot of you like really good swimmers, this is going to be pretty ugly. But I'm just trying my best to improve. I know what's going wrong. It's just when I get into these sessions and I start doing technique work, I start thinking about it, and you lose your rhythm and you lose some breathing, and it becomes hard. So anyways, that is a closer look at currently my swim, my technique, and some issues that are going on. I'm working on it really hard at the moment because being injured, all I can do is swim. So we'll keep improving, and yeah, we will get there as the rest of this training block for the Ironman 70.3 continues onwards. Okay, 2.5K done. And it took about 2.2 for me to feel comfortable doing that. I'll pop up the workout on the screen now from the phone. Essentially, it was 400 meters of doing technical work, working on proper catch all the way past my hip to my thigh, doing some high catch work, then working on some right side breathing, and then doing some work on obviously bringing through high elbows. And it just felt kind of awkward to begin with. As I said during the swim just now, I'd taken 2 weeks off swimming just because I needed a rest. And yeah, it took me a long time to finally get comfortable again. The good news from that swim was a 1.5K longest set, which was awesome. My longest ever ongoing swim. It's not fast, and I'll show you that in a second. And yeah, towards the end, I kind of finally settled into a rhythm whereby I managed to get more reach, more glide, get some rhythm back in my catch, get my breathing settled, and just slow things down a little bit. So that was a nice like mental boost to the end of the confidence boost at the end of the session. If we go to the workout now, I'll put it on the screen. You'll see the first few were just me doing some technique work at 140s, 134s, 147s, like just kind of getting up that pace and getting into the session again. And then if we come down to number 10 and 11, we have that 900, 500, 100 meter. So that was non-stop. I'm sure the watch is bugged out slightly there. That was a non-stop set all the way through. And again, like, I know I'm not fast. Like, I realize that 207s, 206s, 208s are slow. I'm just trying to, at the moment, just
feel relaxed in the water, just to build up the endurance and know that when I get in the water for that 1.9k swim on the Ironman 70.3 race day, that I feel like I'm relaxed and I can achieve the distance. I'm not going to die is like phase number 1 of this training session. So I'm happy with it. The speed stuff is just going to come with patience and time and technique, and that's where if we come down to the remaining from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, those remaining sets down the bottom, the 150, the 138, the 206, 154, 206 and 150. The most interesting thing of all of this is that the lower my average strokes for that length, the faster I go, which I think is just a testament to technique and efficiency. And what I was really working really hard in those quick ones, that 14, 16 and that 18, was keeping my head lower in the water and keep kind of like tense my core and hold my core tighter so I'm more streamlined. And yeah, I felt strong. It's the strongest I felt at the end of a session for a long time, which is great news, because after the brick workout on Saturday, the last 4k of that 12-kilometer run after the 60k cycle was also where I felt strongest. So I feel like my body is getting used to the endurance distances and the lengths and like when times get hard and the workouts get tough, like my body and my mind rises to that occasion, which is, I think, is a really positive part of the training. So yeah, really solid swim. I need to go 2 swims a week. Luckily the water down in Balna is now completely clear and spotless, so I think I'm going to put in a second swim probably on a Friday morning, but it'll be half an hour. It will just be like practice open water swimming. It might be 700 meters, 1,000 meters, and just get into the rhythm of having that second swim a week to work on open water swimming, to get more comfortable in the water. So yeah, really good. Now it's time for the weekly segment of Ironman 70.3 training, which is watch Jamie eat food. So we've got a couple of snakes and then a flapjack today. So yeah, I'm actually kind of hyped for the flapjack because my brother bought it from England and it's a protein flapjack. It is just stacked full of carbs. So looking forward to this. And then yeah, we're gonna drive home and we have a leg session in the gym, which is gonna be short and sharp, heavy, and probably throwing some deadlift work. We'll see how we go, but we'll get that leg session done later on, and that'll be a big double session moving into week 9 of the 70.3 training prep. Oh, gotcha.
Morning, it is Thursday 17th of July and we are injured. So on Tuesday, a couple of days ago now, I had a 10k tempo run on the schedule, and I was feeling good and I went out pretty quick, working on cadence, working on about a 4:15 per minute per kilometer, which was really solid. Did a 5k tempo out and just kind of cruised back in, coming in the last 5k. I was feeling pretty tired, so I didn't want to just tweak anything. And I came to the 8k mark and yeah, something happened to the right calf. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on, if I'm honest. It felt very different to any kind of cramp sensation. It was like a sharp-ish pain, or like a slow cramp, and then a sharp pain slightly above that. And I couldn't continue running, whereas like a cramp I can normally kind of shake out, but this I couldn't. And I don't know if it's an easy strain in like the very middle part of my calf, or I have a really severe cramp that led to a strain of some kind. I can't really tell, but there's like a real tight bit of pain through the middle of the calf. I can stand on tiptoes, I can flex my ankle. It's not a serious tear, but the Ironman 70.3 training is in jeopardy right now. And that's just the way it feels. I had a interval session yesterday that I couldn't do. I had a 100k bike ride today that I can't do. And it's one of those things where it's like when I felt the injury, I was like, I'm done. It's going to take me a month, 6 weeks. I've torn something. And all those thoughts go through your head and you're like, all this work, all this training, all this effort comes to nothing. And I'm past that, but now I'm just working out what happens next. So I've been icing and compressing the calf as much as possible, if you've seen on the Instagram. I've been still doing upper body work. So I did an upper body gym session yesterday just to keep mentally just ticking over. It'd be very easy for this to kind of derail things. I want to maintain that momentum and just keep like my mind like in a positive state of mind where it's going to be okay. So I'm resting at the moment. I'm going to rest for this full weekend. The silver lining is that it's time to swim. So I'm going to use this opportunity. So there won't be any running for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I will swim for the next week, probably 3 or 4 times. After about a week, 10 days, I will then get on the bike. I will do some cycling work, some general cycling, just move some rhythm back through the calf. And I'll just take it day by day, basically from next week onwards, to see how I'm feeling. I'll do a recovery session in the gym. I'll do an ice bath and sauna probably the start of next week to try and kickstart more of that recovery even further. So this is just a general update. Things are not ideal. So yeah, I am injured. I'm not sure what it is. I'm doing everything I can to kind of get through this stage positively, thinking calmly, not worrying about too much down the line, just making sure that I'm not doing any further damage right now. So, and it's a shame really, because I was starting to feel really good in training. We had just seen the swim before this, which was a really good session. I really felt some of the technique work coming through at the end of that. And I felt strong at the end of that swim. So that was good. And even this run, this tempo run, I haven't done a tempo run for a little while. I did do the big brick workout on Saturday, which was the 60k bike and a 12k run. And I felt good again today. I did feel some tightness in my calves when I was running, but that's not unusual at this stage of my training. So, yeah, I feel like the body is in a good place aerobically. I feel strong aerobically. I feel energized aerobically. It's just a few muscular injuries and things. So I'm going to take this as a note to just rest, actively rest, really focus on the swimming. Yeah, not panic, because the training block which I put up now has been going really well this last week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it has been a bit hit or miss with the sessions. I am tired. It's never going to be perfect. My family are here visiting from the UK, so I feel really busy. But yeah, it's just one of those things that it does happen. And I am really worried about the calf, but I can't be too worried. Like, I've still got 2 months until the Ironman 70.3 in September, middle of September. So no panic. This is just an update on how things are. And yeah, hopefully you'll get another training session from me within the next 4-5 days. So there might be a small delay between this last video, which has done amazingly. So thank you so much for that. We just passed 10k views, which I haven't had for a long time. So to all of you that are new subscribers and watchers and long-time subscribers, thank you so much for the support. Yeah, if you do have any advice on handling a calf injury, handling rehab, all advice is welcome. Yeah, so that's it right now. I will hopefully see you very soon with another swim, and we can continue this Ironman 70.3 journey together. So I'll catch you soon. Okay, it's time to swim, and I really don't feel like swimming. It is currently, what day is it today? Monday 21st July. You would have just seen I was in Brisbane for the weekend with the family, which was obviously awesome. But I'm exhausted. I am running Apex. My calf is still injured, getting better. I'm rehabbing as gently and as hard as I can, I guess. And I got 2.5k in the pool, made up of 25 100 meter sets to really work on technique, and it's pinning it down with rain, and yeah, I'm kind of not into it. I got a bunch of hybrid samples back for the supposed to be final samples for the hybrid gear, and there's just stuff wrong with them, wrong materials, wrong base materials that I've worked so hard to get right. I'm just in a pretty foul fucking mood, frankly. So yeah, just gonna get this session done, just get through it, do the reps, work on the technique, focus, and hopefully it'll settle me down mentally and calm me down a little bit, and then I'll solve the problems I have this afternoon and this evening. So anyways, yeah, yeah, that's it. So let's get this done. Okay, Let's try and work on this technique, particularly the high catch, full stroke through past my thigh, taking my arm nice and high over the top, then working on my kicking. As we saw earlier in the video, my kicking is very side, my legs come out to the side when I kick, so I'm going to try and get my edge moving forward as I kick through the stroke. So yeah, the technique work is really hard. I'm finding it really tough, but it's all part of the training. So then knuckle down, do 100-meter sets, working one thing at a time, and just if I can slowly bring my rhythm and my technique up throughout this 2.4k session. Okay. I'm really trying to work hard on that high catch, coming through, and then like having that high bent elbow as I come through. But like, I don't know, it's hard to know the degrees, it's hard to match the breathing. I'm trying to keep my head down and my core tight and do that 2-beat kick, and it's just, it doesn't feel natural at all. Like, I'm trying really hard. Like right now, I'm half an hour into a session and I've done 17 lengths. Like, I'm stopping every 50 meters to try and like think about the form and really dial it in, but I'm finding it really hard. So, you know, 1.6k to go. I'm just going to really focus on getting this form as good as I can. And I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments, as we spoke about like earlier in the video. I'm just trying my best right now, and frankly it's my 3rd swim in a week. There'll be 4 swims in 8 days tomorrow, so I'm just trying to really dial in this swimming while I've got the time, whilst the calf recovers, whilst I'm not on the bike. But yeah, it's pretty hard. So anyways, it will click. I sort of keep working at this technique stuff. So we continue. Okay, 2.4k done. As I said to you just now, that kind of sucked. So yeah, that was really hard. Probably something to do with the 6 pints I had with Dad on Saturday night at the rugby, and not eating enough dinner last night probably didn't help. But like, working a swimming routine just fucking fucks with my head, my breathing, my rhythm. So that was hard. Did I make progress? Probably somewhere in there. It's another step towards it clicking. For now, I'm going to do what I do every swimming, is just eat some food. So I've got a Lamington and a cookie, and obviously a banana to balance out, you know, the world. So yeah, session done. I'm going to go home and get some work done. I'm actually going to start editing this video right now. It's been probably 10 days since the last one. I've got to go move on and get the next one out. So yeah, we continue at pace, and I'll catch you for the next swim, which is going to be tomorrow. So yeah, onwards.